Good morning, everyone. This is Lawrence doing another independent music listener video. This will be part 3. And the independent music listener is a Facebook page which I set up to spotlight the newer musical artists who do not get quite the attention they deserve in mainstream music and the general public. They're not big, household names like Taylor Swift or Lady Gaga. Beautiful morning outside. I got the window open, and we've had last 3 weeks overcast skies with rain, and so everything's really green because of the moisture, the rain. Um, and I like this kind of morning. The early AM mornings where you hear the birds chirping and all that. This will be part 3 of the independent music listener video. I'm going to spotlight like 5 artists who are very good and show their albums and provide links so you can sample each of them. The first album I'm going to feature is actually from a veteran artist who's still releasing great music, which is part of the independent music listener. We feature veteran artists who are still active and producing great music. And I'm talking about Lucinda Williams and her latest album, Good Souls, Better Angels. Lucinda is really known for her album Cartwheels on a Gravel Road, which is everyone's favorite. Prior to that, she wrote the song Passionate Kisses, which was a hit by Mary Chapin Carpenter. And then she came out with Cartwheels, and that won a Grammy for Best Folk Album, I believe. So that kind of skyrocketed her fame, and since then she's done a series, a great body of work, and this is the latest installment. Where Cartwheels is kind of a narrative storytelling type of album. This one is more, blues based, rock, soul. She has a fantastic core band of just guitars. The guitarist on this album is fantastic. I'm not going to go down the list of players. It's absolutely fantastic. And bass and drums and other things going on. Lucinda, what fired her up is the political, social, economic situation the country's in right now, and some spiritual stuff as well. Fire and brimstone. She's not preaching, but she uses that kind of I don't know, baptism type of hellfire, spirit for this album. This is a great album. It's been getting really, really good reviews on the internet, and people are really talking about it. I bought the limited edition, which contains 5 songs done acoustic demo style, and kind of the style of the Delta blues. So she takes those songs to the Delta. I highly recommend this album. Go on your streaming service and listen to it. The next artist I never heard of until I went to see Rhiannon Giddens' show. She opened for Rhiannon, and she came out, did an acoustic set, which was fabulous. and I cannot pronounce her name. So I'm just going to hold the album up and show you her name. I just call her Amy. Some of these albums are in frames, album frames, which I took off the wall. But here's her name. It's signed by her. After she did her set, I walked over to the concession stand, and there she was doing a meet and greet with fans, and I had a nice chat with her, and I bought her album right there, and she was good enough to sign it for me. Her music, I'm putting my glasses down. I got her website, her Facebook page pulled up. Her music, the genre is Americana, Southern roots, alternative country, and folk. Much fueled, inspired by Nina Simon, Big Mama Thornton, Sister Rosetta Thrope, can't pronounce that. I'm horrible with names. Carolina Chocolate Drops, the Carter Family, Dolly Parton, Yola Carter. That type of rootsy folk Americana music with Southern roots. She has a powerful voice. I mean, just powerful, and she reminds me of another artist of the day, Ada. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Who was a famous artist back in the day? Folk roots music tradition, and so Amy's kind of carrying on the torch. This album, it only has 7 tracks, but they're magnificent. So go and listen to it on your streaming service. Speaking of Rhiannon Giddens, this is the album by her that was very popular, which I brought. And oh, isn't that a great cover? Very the pose there with the face resting on the hands. Rhiannon, and I'm going to pull her information up as well. I'm working with a split screen here. She's a American musician, is a founding member of the country blues and old time music band Carolina Chocolate Drops. She plays the fiddle, the banjo, acoustic guitar, and her music encompasses folk, old-time music, bluegrass, country, gospel, blues, jazz, soul, R&B, Celtic, and Americana. So a lot going on there. Rhiannon, she has a great voice, and this would be a good album to start off with. I haven't got any of her follow-up albums yet. This album buying is an expensive proposition. The next one is an artist I learned about, and I'm pulling up her information, about a year ago when her full-length debut album came out. She goes by the name of Yola. Her full name is Lola Carter, okay? And she's an English musician, singer, songwriter from Bristol, England. She became the lead singer. I'm not going into all that, what she did before. Genres, Americana, country, soul, roots rock, okay? This is a fabulous album, and it's produced by Black Key member Dan Orabek. I guess that's how you pronounce it. This came out in February of 2019, and it was featured on NPR First Listen, which I reference a lot to find new music, and I just heard the tracks. It was fabulous. Yola has a fantastic powerhouse voice. If you think Adele's good, you should listen to Yola. I even like her vocals better. Her music is like country soul, okay? it's soul music with a kind of a country vibe. You know, you'll hear a steel guitar here and there, and the there's no skip over tracks on this album. There are the titles. Okay, but the tracks I really like. I love all of them, but Rock Me Gently, Faraway Look, Shady Grove, Right Out in the Country. Her music has like an old school vibe to it, very melodic. Um, it hooks up into the brain after you can still hear it playing in the brain. Great musicianship. Dan did a fantastic job, and he also co-wrote um, a lot of the songs with Yola. It's on the Easy Eye Sound label, Non Such Records. So I highly recommend this album if you like something that's melodic, kind of old school, but with a fresh feel to it. Okay, next artist, and this is her most popular album. I have it on CD. I Am Shelby Lynn. Very soulful, bluesy, Americana, and that's a theme for all this music I'm showing. So this is her most better known album. She's released many albums after that, which I have this one on vinyl. I went to see her at a show about 6 years ago. She played a 3,000 seater venue, and she was fantastic. She has a great voice. She writes all her own songs, and she did a solo set, but she had one other musician with her, and her voice just projected great on the concert hall. So I recommend you just go and listen to her. The next artist, Sharon Jones and the Dap-Kings. Sharon had an interesting story. Unfortunately, we lost her to cancer in 2016. She had beaten back the disease, but it came back with a vengeance. But in her final year, I guess, with the Dap-Kings on Daptone Records, she produced this album under that umbrella. This is a fantastic final album by her. It's not a somber, I'm dying and this is my final statement. It's more of a joyful celebration of life that it'll go on after me. This one of the last great tracks is Call on God. And it's very reminiscent of what you hear from Mahalia Jackson. Okay, this is very soul horn laced, old school, under the Daptone King production album. Great final album by Sharon Jones. She has an interesting history too. She tried to make it into music in the late 70s, early 80s, but her style was was not in vogue, or what was going on at the time with disco and Donna Summers. And Sharon just didn't have the looks, as like a Donna Summers. So she went back in the civilian world. She was actually a correction officer up in New York, but she had a personality like the inmates would really like her because she would treat them nice, but she hooked up with the Daptone Records and the musicians there, the producers, and produced a series of albums that became popular and successful tours. So I'm glad she had that success in music in her last part of her life. Um, you all heard of Alabama Shakes, and the front woman for that band, Brittany Howard, ventured solo on her own with this album, Jamie. This is a great album. She kind of ties into some of the what's going on in music today, a bit of hip hop and rap vibe that's channeled in this album, and along with the old school soul and R&B of Alabama Shakes, and the lead-off single, History Repeats. You think you're listening to the Isley Brothers in the early 1970s. It's very cool. And there's one track that's very Motownish that Marvin Gaye and Tammy Trunell could have recorded together. Forgot the name of the track, but I'll put the link to it. And then there's just a lot of different types of things going. So she's really went into different new directions with this album. And Alabama Shakes, I don't know what the future is. They're listed as being on hiatus. So I hope that's not the end. But glad to see Brittany venture out on her own. Okay. The last artist, I only have the CD. She's a Welsh singer who put out a very popular album in 2008. It ties into what was going on with Amy Winehouse, the revitalization of old R&B and soul. Amy Winehouse, although she's very talented and all that, but was very troubled. Her vocal style, kind of broody sound, didn't appeal to me. So this is an artist that I took to instead. Her name is Duffy. Forgot her last name. This album came out in 2008, Rockferry. And this is like old school Blue-Eyed Soul, but done, updated, done kind of modern. It doesn't sound stale or dated. Duffy has a great voice, and the title track, Rockferry, a lot of people told me, oh, that sounds a little bit like Lulu's To Sir With Love vibe. So this is a great album. No skip over tracks. Just, and a lot of highlights too. So I'll provide links to each of these artists, each of these albums, and a link to the Independent Music Listener if you want to check that out as well. So that concludes. I'm going to start my day. Got some household chores to do. And so please leave a comment. Thumbs up are nice. I love comments. And please consider joining the Independent Music Listener on Facebook. Thank you for watching, and y'all have a good day. Bye.